Chelsea, I'm back. I bet you guys were wondering where I went, huh? I was gone from Friday morning through just like super late last night, out of town with Mark, get a kind of vacation-y, wedding-y, getaway out of town kind of thing. So when I was talking to you guys Friday, I wasn't even here. Isn't technology crazy? Anyway, I'm coming to you guys today with my hashtag Read-a-Thon June wrap up. As I mentioned, if you go back a couple of videos when I did my announcement that I was doing this readathon for the month, you'll notice that the theme was Rick Riordan. So even though I was gone out of town for a couple of days, I still managed to get 2-ish books read, which is kind of not surprising because insider secret, Percy Jackson is actually super easy to read, not only because they're well written, but also because they're middle grades. They tend to be a bit shorter. The print tends to be a bit bigger. They kind of move along a little bit quicker. So the very first book I finished reading was the first book in the series, The Lightning Thief. For those of you who don't know, Percy Jackson is a half-blood. He finds out within the very beginning of this book that he's a half-blood, so he's half mortal, half Greek god. He is his father, Poseidon. His father is Poseidon, and so he gets sent to a training camp called Camp Half-Blood, where he learns how to fight monsters and do archery and throw javelins, and the book is peppered all throughout with Greek gods and goddesses and demigods and heroes and heroines, and it's so good. I tell everybody I read that if this book had come out when Harry Potter had come out, like if this book had come out when I was in like the 5th or the 6th grade, it would have rung all my bells, put all the bees in my bonnet. I would have eaten it up with a giant spoon. Pick your metaphor. I would have been all the flip over it because growing up in elementary school, Greek mythology was like my thing, and never really got too much into Roman mythology, but that's okay because these books don't either. But needless to say, Percy goes on some pretty epic adventures. He has his friend Annabeth and his friend Grover. They have to leave camp to go complete a quest. It's all very heroic, very, kind of old Greek poetry-esque, lots of nods to the Iliad and the Odyssey and all of those kinds of things. More so in the second book that I read, which was the second book in the series, The Sea of Monsters. This book gives lots of nods to the Odyssey. Kind of wish I'd been able to read this in Western Civ too instead. But what are you going to do? Anyway, The Sea of Monsters continues the adventures of Percy and Annabeth and Grover, and this time a couple other people, as they make their way through yet another quest to kind of appease the gods in the process of this giant war that's kind of breaking out amongst all the gods on Mount Olympus. Lastly, and I just finished this little book last night on the plane, that's how much I got through of the third book, which is The Titan's Curse. The Read-a-Thon's technically over, but I intend to read the rest of The Titan's Curse and then the last 2 books, The Battle for the Labyrinth and The Last Olympian. I believe that's what they're called. Because, like I said, they're very, very easy. They're very, very short. They're really, really, really compelling. But I gotta be honest, after getting through this much of the third one, I had to take a break because there's a little bit of that, like, what I call kid recapping, which is where, like, after every book in the series, in the beginning of the next book, the author finds, like, a semi-clever way to basically just sum up the last book. I say semi-clever because there's only so much cleverness you can add to something like that. But it's basically them, in case the reader didn't read the first one, they can still understand what's happening in the second one. There's a little bit of that going on. So by the third book, I just kind of had to be like, all right, this is not the kind of series I'm going to be able to marathon. I had to put it down a little bit, take a couple steps away, but I'm going to come back to it, and I'm actually really excited to come back to it. I'm really excited. So let's get that out of the way. Really excited to finish up with the whole series. I think my favorite thing about the series this far is just that Rick Riordan is incredibly clever. The way he updates his stories, the fact that he puts the entrance to Hades in Los Angeles and Mount Olympus at the top of the Empire State Building, like, it's those little details, the way he reinterprets his gods and goddesses, the modern affectations they have, that I'm just like, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I hear that the Heroes of Olympus series that comes after these are even better. Those kind of progress into, like, YA books in terms of, like, the maturity and the way that they're written and stuff. So I'm really, really excited to get to those and to the Kane Chronicles, which is his stories that are Egyptian based. But anyway, Rick Riordan week is technically over, but I'm going to finish out this series this month. I hope the lighting is still okay. The sun's disappearing and it's getting really rainy. So I hope the lighting's still okay. But I'm wrapping it up now. So even if it's not, you won't have to deal with it for too much longer. But yes, I loved this month's theme for for the hashtag a yearathon, Read-a-Thon. I'll be back yet again in July. I don't know what the theme is because I was too lazy to look it up before I made this video. But I'll be back. You can count on it. Hope you guys are having an amazing week. If you guys participated or have read any of these books, let me know below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know about the ones that are coming up, the next couple series and other Rick Riordan stuff. Just get in touch because I love to hear from you guys. Hope you're all having an absolutely wonderful beginning of your week. And I love you guys. Bye.